I've got two big announcements for the Ripple XRP ecosystem. Buybacks, yes, it's real. What's one of the biggest threats to crypto? Why are prices going down? All that more.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Ooh, a sea of red with meme leading the charge to the downside. Doge down 7%, PayPay down almost 9%. Ooh, it's a rough one out there, but we've got some good news. Some interesting news regarding Ripple, buybacks, XRP, Xrpl, and well, we'll get to it. But first, your comments. Why? Well, because you are the viewer, and you matter most. No, you're not a target. No, you're not a mark. You are the most important thing in this video. Irby did it says, I've been commenting on every Crypto Sensei video that he's a POS scammer. He then asked for my Twitter handle to be part of a private group chat. Why the secrets if you didn't help scam people? Yeah, it's pretty messed up. This all has to do with the Munacy thing, and well, there's a video at the end that I'm going to share with you. It talks about it. Changing subject. This is from Dwayne and Kathy Hayes. Changing subject. Here in London, England, it's too many people shoplifting and nothing happens. So many vids. Is that happening in your towns? Probably not as you caddy guns. No, it's happening out here too. In fact, you've seen in plenty places, they weren't even prosecuting you unless you were shoplifting or stealing over $1,000. In fact, we have planned riots, planned protests happening this weekend. It's a mess all over the globe, and you're seeing geopolitical tensions rise. Manny, who's very active in the comments, thank you for that, by the way, Manny, says, feel like everything is just bad or like you just call poop sandwich. But you're definitely a breath of fresh air. Hope all is well. I hope we all make it out with everything going on in the world. Yeah, there is a lot of turmoil going on in the world. That's why I like to throw a little humor in the videos, because think about it. If we just focused on the negative without a little humor, it'd be kind of crappy, right? But I've got some good news with some bad news, some neutral news, and, well, price news. Bitcoin's hit at 107,000. No, look, it's red. If you want to see the prices, you're welcome to do it. Let's get into it. Bitcoin tumbles amid rising U.S.-Iran tensions. Okay, this is very interesting. This was because tensions between the U.S. and Iran were rising based on reports that Iran was speeding up its nuclear program and missile tests, and rumors that the U.S. would leave the Middle East, and scared investors around the world. Okay, I understand that. Listen to this. This change in mood also caused a short sell-off on risk assets like cryptocurrencies, with BTC leading the way. Investors were already wary because of general macroeconomic concerns. Now you saw investors go hardcore into what? Into gold and crude oil. Okay, we're starting to get a bigger picture here. When the risk assets go down, the safe haven assets go up. Interesting. We're going to keep an eye on this, but we're also seeing a little bit of CPI, PPI, a little bit of macro concerns too. By the way, Jerome Powell is not going to be raising rates next week, so please do not fall for the clickbait crap on Twitter and YouTube about Jerome and a 1% rate cut. Crypto scam losses exceeded $4 billion in 2024, driven by deep fake and AI tech. Ooh, okay. The biggest threat to crypto today isn't volatility, it's deception, to explain BitGet CEO Gracie Chen. That's why BitGet has designated the entire month of June as anti-scam month. And again, I've got a massive anti-scam video linked at the end of this one that you should check out. Its initiative is to elevate industry standards and user awareness. This report is the flagship release within that effort. AI has made scams faster, cheaper, and harder to detect. At BitGet, we believe fighting back requires both technological rigor and ecosystem-wide collaboration. I agree with that. That's why I'm trying to help educate you on what to look out for with scams. Some of the biggest things out there, people promising things that seem too good to be true. Huge yields and APYs. What about players out there where all of a sudden you see every influencer in the world promoting a certain coin or token? Here's one for you. Hamster Combat. Remember when everyone was promoting Hamster Combat? Yeah, you couldn't go anywhere without seeing Hamster Combat this, Hamster Combat that. Well, Hamster Combat recover after falling 90% price-wise. Here's the chart for it. Remember when that was touted as the next hottest thing? Well, there's the complete chart for Hamster Combat. Yeah, not looking good, girlfriend. All-time lows, going down even more and more and more. So again, if you get a bunch of influencers out there, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, Discord, Telegram, and the like, and they're all promoting something all at once, and it's the next best thing since sliced bread, be very wary of it. Now let's get into Ripple. XRP, RLUSD, XRPL ecosystem news. Juicy stuff, everyone. Ripple launches a $700 million share buyback at $175 a share. Now, Ripple does not trade publicly like Circle. Ripple is a private company, okay? So this is a private share buyback. So just be kind of cautious here. A lot of people are going to be like, but bro, what are you talking about? Ripple isn't public. No, they're privately share owned. Okay. Ripple has launched a $700 million share buyback program, offering $175 per share, a move that could significantly influence investor sentiment towards XRP and its price. While the repurchase offer is directed at Ripple equity holders, analysts and crypto market participants are now waiting to see if this is going to affect XRP price. Investor Jeremy Raper has shared that Ripple's $700 million buyback was announced through an internal communication from Brad Garlinghouse. This offer opened on June 10th and will remain active until July 9th. It is available to eligible shareholders with vested stock options or shares and will be conducted via the NASDAQ private market. Again, private shares. This is not a public thing. The $175 offer price represents a 135% premium over their secondary market trading levels, while shares have last traded for $74 to $75. That's nuts. That is good money to be made on that buyback. So where is Ripple getting the money to buy back those shares? Well, I'll let you comment in the comments down below and to tell me where that's from. So, Ripple spending money to buy back shares. That's pretty big. Okay, now what's the other big announcement? Circle brings USDC to Ripple's network as XRP ledger gears up. That's right. USDC is coming to Xrpl. The timing of this is important because we just saw Circle go public, right? There's a big difference, right? Publicly traded companies, you and I can get into, right? We can go on those stock exchanges, we could buy it. Private ones, you usually got to be an accredited investor. There's usually minimum amounts. They're usually pretty big, quite a few zeros on there. Circle has launched its flagship stablecoin, USDC, on Xrpl, tapping into the network's high-speed transaction trusted security model. Users and developers can now build apps using USDC with ease as they no longer need third-party tools or cross-chain bridges. That's awesome. USDC is live. With the launch of native USDC and Xrpl, developers, institutions, users gain support of the world's largest regulated stable coin. Juicy stuff. But here's Bill Morgan. I thought I would share a little laugh with you because this is Bill Morgan's take on it. He says, "We beg you to stop the great announcements just for a little while. Let XRP's price have a day to recover from the endless good news." And basically what he's saying is, look, we've got lots of good news regarding XRP, but it's not really reflecting the price. And so, Bill, I get what you're saying, my guy. It's just sometimes not every news bit affects the price. For instance, the private buyback, right? The private buyback that you're seeing with the shares, okay, probably isn't going to have an effect on XRP price. Is it going to have an effect on the private share price? Well, hell yeah, it is, because it's a private buyback. But it's still important to share with the ecosystem because you are going to have people out there kind of, I don't know, simulate that maybe this is going to help out XRP. It probably won't. If it does, hey, that's good. That's gravy for us XRP holders. Now, in terms of USDC launching on XRPL, is that good for us as a whole? Yes, it is. Is it going to have price action effect right now? Well, my screen is saying no. Could it help us out later with transactional volume? Well, of course it will. Is it good for the ecosystem and good for builders? Well, yes, of course it is. Zooming out to the greater crypto market, we're seeing volume right now at 120 billion. Altcoin season is still hovering right around 30 out of 100. The majority of the market is in red with the alts leading the way on down. ETH down 4%, Sol down 5%, BTC though down only 1%. But by the way, look at the BTC chart action right here. You're kind of seeing a little bit of stabilization in BTC price, hopefully meaning that the rest of the market is going to follow suit. And what, everyone? Turn things back around. In terms of inflows, yes, we're seeing inflows still in terms of the institutional money, which is a good thing. But right now we're seeing overall softness in the price of the crypto markets. The 1-month chart for XRP shows softness as well, where we were looking at highs in mid-May of the 262 range, but we have since seen some sell-off action since that point. It was a little wordy, that statement right there. I'm going to have to fix that on the old script. Well, I already read it, so we won't be fixing it on the old script. But right now we're getting good news in regards to XRP, XRPL, the ecosystem as a whole. Ripple private shareholders are getting good news, but right now macros are still ruling the roost. I brought that article up in the beginning, how we've got some US-Iran tensions out there, okay? Pushing the market down. Traders are going to where? They're going to safe haven assets. Gold, oil, the silver market's been going. So when traders go to those safe haven assets, risky things like crypto will often be soft. That's why I said in the live stream yesterday, hey, I don't just buy crypto, I buy a whole bunch of different things, because when one sector is soft and I know it's a sector that I feel comfortable in, I can rotate into that sector. When one sector is hot like gold, I'm not spending money in gold right now. Gold is too expensive for me compared to its relative upside, where I think there's other assets out there that have been beaten down that have relative upside that I'm seeing that are on sale that are making me feel comfortable to buy into. So I'm diversifying even more right now because certain sectors are hot, certain sectors are not, but we know money rotates. Zooming out on XRP, we see plenty of support above in the $2 price range, but for most of you out there right now, $2 price range is very boring because you're wanting more. You saw that we were able to touch $3 in early mid-January, and you saw that there's been a lot more of excitement around XRP at that time, but remember, around that January time, we were talking about XRP Strategic Reserve. We were talking about regs. We were talking about all this stuff of which now, 5 months later, we haven't gotten yet. So the market was getting a little tired of overpromising and under-delivering by leadership. And the market is also looking at a lot of what? A lot of negative activities out there. Think, when Trump and Elon had their little spat about a week ago, sent the markets down. Those two hug and make up. Did the markets go up? No. United States and China had their tariff trade wars. That sent the markets down. All of a sudden, we get an announcement from Trump on True Social saying, yo, we've come to an agreement. Did that make the markets rally? No, it didn't. So the markets right now, especially the riskier markets such as crypto, are very susceptible to the negative news, not the positive news. Why? Well, because the macros aren't favorable yet. We're still dealing with high inflation. We still got a lot of geopolitical tension and global turmoil. And as some of you have stated, like Dwayne and Kathy Hayes, we have a lot of problems. Shoplifting, riots, civil unrest, protesting, peaceful protests, my ass, and a lot of other things that are making people feel uncomfortable. Putting pressure on what? The risky assets like crypto. So let me ask you a quick question when it comes to crypto. Is part of the problem the expectations out there that have been set in front of us? Because think, we've been bombarded with a bunch of players out there saying, oh, price action is going to be this. Oh, we're going to expect this. Is that really what the issue is? Because to be honest with you, when we zoom out, XRP for a long time was trading between 30 cents, 50 cents. And now we're well above $2. That's a pretty healthy gain here over the last 6 to 7 months. But I do understand what people are talking about, where we are getting a bunch of good news, but the price isn't moving. Remember, that has to do with macros and risk right now in the market. But is it in expectation versus reality that's setting us up? Or is it that people are waiting for the regs? I honestly keep leaning to the regs part of it, because the reality is a lot of players don't want to get into crypto without the regs. We're seeing scams run rampant, of which at the end of this video, I'm going to have a huge thing on scams. Definitely we're seeing. Scams are running rampant. A lot of businesses don't want to add altcoins to their strategic reserves because they're afraid of the next presidential regime coming in going, yo, crypto's naughty. Because remember, we don't have regs right now. We just have what? Executive orders. And the next president could come in, do whatever they want with their executive orders, undo the ones we have now, and make it all a mess again, right? They could always come back in and reappoint Gary Gensler, couldn't they? So, regs are definitely holding us back. Inflation is holding us back. High rates are holding us back. And you're like, but bro, how do high rates hold crypto back? Okay, what is the one thing crypto needs? Crypto needs projects that we use. It can't just be speculation. It can't just be trading. Some of it has to be products we use. Well, when rates are high, that means money is very expensive. Whether you want to buy a home, buy a car, expand a business, right? Like building in crypto, it means rates are high. So if rates are high, a lot of players will usually stay away and they won't build because it's expensive to build. As rates come down, the money becomes cheaper, right? When money is cheaper, you can then what? Invest in more expensive stuff. It's the same thing with gold and with oil. When gold is super, super expensive, like in terms of like making you lots of money, you can take more risk with it, right? You can dig deeper. When oil is $150 a barrel, you can go way deeper into the earth where it costs you more. Why? Because you're getting more for it. But when oil is cheap, you can't take that high risk. Well, it's the same with rates. When rates are high, you can't take the risk because it's just not worth it. So as rates come down, it will allow more players, more VC money to flow into crypto, which will help us out with the building aspect of it, right? To get outside of the speculation and to get back into the utility part of it. Obviously, regs are going to help us out, but we've also seen geopolitical tensions have been a bit messy. And to be honest with you, this isn't just something that's happening in the United States or in the UK or in Australia. It's happening everywhere. People are fairly fed up with what? Governments overpromising and under-delivering. They're upset with inflation. They're upset with their version of the dollar being worth less and less and less. They're upset with high housing costs globally being just a mess. So there's a lot of things right now that are working against the market, even though we have a lot of good news. So I understand what Bill Morgan is talking about, but at the same time, I'm looking at this going, no, you still got to share the news, whether it's good, bad, happy, or sad. Even though sometimes the macros are so much stronger than the good news that they swallow it up and you see the negative price action. So hopefully it just makes more sense on zooming out why things are happening in the market the way they are. Now, scams and stuff like that, that video should be popping up on the screen now. Worth a look, because look, we've been pointing out scams, and Munacy just burned a bunch of people. And remember, a bunch of naughty crypto people out there on YouTube and Twitter have been promoting it. So be careful and choo-choo what? Choo-choo biz nachos.